All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to crack the code on a skill that is absolutely fundamental in the legal world: referencing.
So, be honest. Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of footnotes, bibliographies, and style guides? Yeah, you're not alone. The rules can feel so complex, maybe even a little overwhelming at times.
But here's the secret. Clear referencing isn't just about following a bunch of nitpicky rules. It's about building powerful, credible arguments, and we're going to show you exactly how to do it step by step.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why this stuff even matters so much. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of citing primary sources and then academic sources. And we'll wrap it all up with the golden rules that are going to make your referencing absolutely flawless.
Okay, first up, why referencing matters. Seriously, think of this as building your credibility, one single citation at a time.
It's so important to remember that this is way more than just a chore. It's the very foundation of your authority. I mean, when you cite correctly, you're not just avoiding plagiarism. You're signaling to a judge or to opposing counsel that you have done your homework. It shows your argument is built on solid, verifiable precedent and that you respect the massive, ongoing conversation that is the law.
So, with that in mind, let's see how this actually works. Starting with our first big category, citing primary sources. You know, these are the absolute core pillars of any legal argument. We're talking the Constitution, legislation, and of course, case law.
Let's kick things off with the big one, the Constitution. Look at that first footnote. It's super comprehensive, right? It gives you the full title and even assigns a little shorthand in parentheses to use later. After that, any subsequent footnotes are just clean and simple, using that short form. And the bibliography? Just the pure formal title. It's a really efficient system.
Now, when you're citing legislation or acts, you'll see a very similar pattern. The first footnote gives you the full act number and the year, while the abridged version just drops those details for a much cleaner look. See? The whole system is designed to be thorough at first, and then nice and unobtrusive after that. Okay, case law citations might look a bit different at first glance, but the principles is exactly the same. Your footnote has the full case name, then the law report details, which are basically the address for where to find the case, and then a specific paragraph number. The abridged footnote is almost identical, it just points to a different paragraph. And that bibliography entry, it gives that core citation so anyone on earth can find the exact case you're talking about.
Okay, so we've covered the legal bedrock. Now let's move on to the analysis and the commentary, citing academic sources. This is how you show you are building on the shoulders of giants.
Let's start with a classic, the good old print book. Notice the key differences between the footnote and the bibliography here. The footnote starts with the author's initial, then their surname, and it ends with the specific page you're citing. The bibliography, on the other hand, flips that. It puts the surname first so you can alphabetize it, and it includes all the publisher info. The rule for footnotes is just so simple. The very first time you cite a book, you give all the details, the whole shebang. Every single time after that, you use the shorter, abridged version. You can use at all when there are multiple authors, and you can shorten the title. It's all about keeping your work clear without adding a bunch of clutter. And here's a perfect example. On the left, you've got that full first reference with all the details you could ever need. And on the right, that's the clean, abridged version you'll use for every other time you mention it. The first one gives your reader the map. All the others just point to the location. Journal articles follow a really similar logic, but there's a modern twist. For a print journal, you've got the author, year, journal abbreviation, and page number. Simple enough. But for an electronic one, you must add the URL and the date you accessed it. This is so important because, as we all know, online sources can change or sometimes just disappear entirely. And hey, these same principles apply to other sources too. For a chapter in a book, you always credit the chapter's author first before you mention the book's editors. For a thesis, you have to specify the degree type and the university. And for pretty much any internet source, always remember author, title, website, URL, and that all-important access date.
All right, let's bring it all home with our last section, the golden rules. Think of these as the finishing touches, the little things that signal true expertise and professionalism.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, please make it this core principle. Your very first citation for any source has to be the full, complete reference. Every single subsequent citation to that same source should use the abridged version. This is the fundamental #1 rule of legal referencing.
And here's a fantastic pro tip for efficiency. If you're citing the exact same source in back-to-back footnotes, you don't even need to repeat the abridged title. Just look at footnotes 24 and 25 here. All you do is provide the new page number. It's such a simple way to keep your footnotes clean and really concise.
Getting the tiny details right every single time is what separates the pros from the amateurs. So here's your checklist. The footnote number always goes after the punctuation. Always start a footnote with a capital letter, and always end it with a full stop. Oh, and if you're citing a bunch of sources in one footnote, use a semicolon to separate them and keep things neat.
And last but not least, the bibliography. Think of it like your own personal organized library. Use headings to group your sources by type. Cases, legislation, books, you get it. Arrange everything alphabetically by the author's last name. And if you have a few works from the same author, just list them in chronological order, from the oldest to the newest.
And that's really it. I know it can seem like a lot of rules, but they all serve one single purpose: to make your work stronger. Just remember, your argument is only as strong as its foundation. Proper referencing is how you build that rock-solid support. So go build it.
As we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. What is the one referencing rule you've learned today that you think you'll never, ever forget now?